In today's news, we see the BVI making an incredible milestone, making the green list for travel into the United Kingdom. Also, BVI recording an increase in bookings for the tourism sector. This is according to statistics coming out of the BVI Tourist Board. As well, Mrs. Andria Flax launching a book on over 107 centenarians here in the territory. And today we are live with Mr. Russell Campbell of KPMG, of course, with an ambition to raise over $20,000 for the Family Support Network in their upcoming indoor rowing challenge. We are live with Mr. Campbell to speak all about it, that, and so much more on today's edition of 284 News.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today. The win.
What in the hell?
I'm freaking out.
Is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the
What's poppin'? What's really good?
Davis has won it for the Lakers.
Hello, viewers. It is a fantastic Friday here in the Virgin Islands. Of course, Friday, June 25th, and we are coming to you live out of 284 News out of the beautiful British Virgin Islands. My name is Javon Wilson, and I am so happy that you can join us today. Now, topping our headlines today, we see 26 Virgin Islands residents becoming registered British citizens after they would have received certificates and, of course, recited the affirmation of allegiance and pledge of loyalty during a ceremony at the Government House Thursday morning. His Excellency, the Governor John J. Rankin, welcomed the group to the family of British citizenship, calling the occasion a very happy and meaningful one. Governor Rankin said, and I quote, "This is a matter to which ministers in Her Majesty's government in Britain attach great importance. British law requires that those who acquire nationality in this way must not only demonstrate a commitment to the United Kingdom, but also knowledge of its history, its institutions, and its language." Governor Rankin also encouraged the new citizens to take advantage of the opportunities for travel and study that may come with the new status, and of course, to remember their duty as British citizens. As we dive straight into today's newscast, yesterday, June 24th, the BVI marked yet another incredible milestone with its updated categorization in making the green list for travel into the United Kingdom. The British Virgin Islands is among 16 countries, which now include 10 Caribbean islands that have been added to the United Kingdom's green watch list for travel from June 30th. Now, the UK uses a traffic light system with countries on the green list considered as safe to travel, that is 2, and having the lowest restrictions for return. This means that anyone traveling from the United Kingdom to the Virgin Islands from June 30th, 2021 will only require a PCR test on or before the second day after returning to the UK and will not need to quarantine. Now, our Premier of the Virgin Islands, Honorable Andria Flax, spoke on the accomplishment during a recent public address on the tourism sector. That is actually earlier today, so listening.
Good day and God's blessings to all the people of the Virgin Islands and beyond. Through the grace of Almighty God, our humble Virgin Islands continue to weather the COVID-19 storm. Indeed, we welcome the good news that the United Kingdom yesterday updated its categorization of the Virgin Islands by including it on the green list for travel. The UK uses a traffic light system, with countries on the green list considered as safe to travel to and having the lowest restrictions for return. Also, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention has categorized BVI as level 1, low level of COVID-19 in the British Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands' handling of the pandemic has received international recognition from the United Nations Development Program. We give God thanks for these important milestones. We will not.
Now, viewers, upon hearing the updates about the green list, Governor John Rankin issued a statement stating that this is good news for the territory. He said, and I quote, "As a territory and as we slowly start to return to normal, it is even more important for individuals to ensure they are vaccinated to protect themselves, their families, and the territory. The current stock of vaccines expire on July 31st. Those that wish to be fully vaccinated before the 31st are advised to take their first shot before the 3rd of July, end of quote. Viewers, Premier Fahie during today's press briefing also updated the territory on statistics as it relates to local travel since the reopening of our borders. Listen.
The BVI Ports Authority has reported that non-resident arrivals at Roadtown since the reopening of the sea border has totaled 3,839 persons. These numbers have been climbing steadily, and the increase coincides with the various initiatives such as the reduction of the BVI gateway entry fees, and no quarantine period for fully vaccinated travelers. It is interesting to note that the residents of the Virgin Islands are also benefiting from the revised protocols and fees, as we have noted an increase in departures and arrivals by residents in the last 2 months. At the ferry ports, 1,705 residents have departed the territory, have been recorded since the reopening in April, and 972 residents have entered through the seaports. In May 2021, departing residents totaled 395 passengers at the seaport, and the figure so far for June is 459. Total departures at the Terence B. Lettsome International Airport for March 2021 was 1,501. Departures by aircraft in April was 1,935, and the figure for May was 2,081. June figures are expected to be higher. All of this translates to revenue for the territory. All of this translates to business for taxi operators and other service providers. I'm advised that the demand for rental vehicles is growing once again. But the good news does not end there.
That was our Honorable Premier of the Virgin Islands. Now, based on some interesting and promising statistics coming out of the BVI Tourist Board, it now shows that tourism numbers are increasing consistently and, of course, are expected to improve over the coming months. Our Premier also spoke to that. Listening.
The BVI Tourist Board has reported an increase in bookings and guests for the upcoming months to date. These are statistics provided by the BVI Tourist Board. In June, for boats, 157 bookings and 899 guests. Land accommodation, 657 bookings, 1,392 guests. July, for boats, 148 bookings and 843 guests. Land accommodation, 610 bookings and 1,196 guests. In August, boats, 33 bookings and 220 guests. Land accommodation, 368 bookings and 596 guests. These figures were captured before the reduction of the BVI gateway fee and the revision of the quarantine protocols for fully and partially vaccinated travelers in mid-June, and before the opening of the ports on Sopho's Hole West End, Dog Hole Jocelyn Dyke, and St. Thomas Bay Virgin Gorda as fully vaccinated ports of entry on 17 June 2021. These adjustments, according to the feedback from the BVI Tourist Board, have created excitement among our Puerto Rican guests who love to come sailing in the BVI waters. The BVI Tourist Board has reported that with the significant increased activity on the BVI Gateway portal that has been realized and outreach from the industry, there is optimism that that we will have a formidable summer with a strong resurgence of bookings from October 20.
Viewers, as we move on, residents are now being advised not to be complacent during the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season, which runs until November 30th this year. The message came from Governor John Rankin during a recently held meeting of the National Disaster Management Council, NDMC, which included committee chairpersons and Premier Andria Flax. Now, according to a media release from the Office of the Deputy Governor, several preparedness efforts for this hurricane season were addressed during the meeting. The statement said, and I quote, "Completing a continuity of the government plan, clearance of guts and waterways, and testing of emergency plans within the public service are top priority." In addition to that, the NDMC also received reports from subcommittees regarding the work accomplished since 2020 in the vital areas of health, finance, governance, the environment, education, transportation, and public awareness. Governor Rankin, who is the chairman of the council, said despite the substantial progress made so far, the people of the territory cannot afford to be complacent in what is forecasted to be a very active hurricane season. He said, and I quote, "A huge amount of work has been done since 2017 to get the BVI back up and running, but we must never be complacent when it comes to preparing for hurricanes and other potential disasters. As governor, I hold responsibility for security, including in the area of disaster preparedness. It is a responsibility that I take extremely seriously to ensure the safety of the people of the Virgin Islands." Meanwhile, we also saw co-chair Premier Fahie in commending the work carried out so far throughout the territory, encouraging all persons to keep putting the necessary arrangements in place. Premier Fahie said, and I quote, "We must all continue to join hand in hand in this preparation for the hurricane season. We must pray God's blessing that there will be no hurricanes. We will continue to prepare because preparation is always key." End of quote. Viewers, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, this year's hurricane season, which runs through November 30th, is predicted to yield 13 to 20 named storms with 6 to 10 possible hurricanes and 3 to 5 major hurricanes. Of course, you are encouraged to get prepared and, of course, stay updated with our local DDM. Now, still ahead of the break, we are live with Mr. Russell Campbell. So excited to get into this conversation about the upcoming indoor rowing challenge that is coming up on July 3rd. They're aiming to raise over $20,000 for FSN. We have all the details in a very exclusive interview right after this commercial break. So stick with us.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, as promised, a very special guest in studio today. He is no other than Mr. Russell Campbell, the Managing Director at KPMG. Welcome to 284 Media, Mr. Campbell.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
All right, so very exciting challenge on the horizon as you guys aim to raise over $20,000, more so closer to $30,000 for the Family Support Network, which we do know is in dire need of consistent support as they continue to lend help to our community. But before we jump into the gist of the competition, just tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind this project. I know it's a personal effort, but I also know that as the Managing Director of KPMG, they're also lending support to this as well, yes?
That's correct. KPMG, together with Conyers, Morant and Harney's, are gold sponsors of the event. which is fantastic, and we're incredibly grateful for that. But the event kind of came about when I was sat at home thinking, what can I do to stay in shape during the lockdown, during COVID-19, particularly when I've not got a chiropractor on island to sort my back out for running. So I started rowing, used to row at university, and I thought, well, let's do a really big challenge. So we thought, well, let's go for 100 kilometres. And that's, a little bit of a brutal row, but I thought, well, I can't do that on my own. I'll try and do it at the gym. And so the CrossFit gym, which are kindly hosting the event. And that then snowballed into, well, let's get some other people doing it and let's make sure we raise some money for what is an amazing cause and a very, very needy cause right now in the Family Support Network.
And you did mention very needy indeed. I know there's lots of charities across the BVI who continue to reach out to the community and assist in whatever ways that they can. But clearly, since the onset of COVID-19, we have seen that constraint increased even more. Lines are consistently wrapping around the corner as it relates to FSN and all the other organizations. But why FSN? Why did that particular organization appeal to you?
I think it's partly because they are under a huge strain, and there are a lot of fantastic organisations here that are, and very, very worthy causes. But FSN plays such an important role for those members of our community that are in distress. And the number of people they're trying to help, both after Irma and because of COVID's increased, at a time when their donations, both of money and of food, are dropping off. So, really feeling the pressure from all directions. And they're just such a genuine, caring group of individuals that try so hard to help. Absolutely. That one gets very enthusiastic for their cause.
That's definitely something we here at 284 Media can attest to. Compassionate individuals, really selfless and trying their best to assist. Now let's get into the competition. It is on July 3rd, which is not this weekend, but the following weekend. I know you have your teams ready. I hope you've been preparing for this competition because, 1,000 kilometers is quite an ambitious undertaking. So let's speak about what the competition will look like on the day itself.
Sure. So I should say 1,000 kilometers probably would be almost impossible. 100 kilometers, and that's more than enough for me. Wow. So we have, there's going to be about 10 teams of 4 taking part, and then 2 of us are doing it as an individual row. And whether we're in a team or an individual, that's about 8 hours of rowing, between 7 and 8.5 hours of rowing, pretty much non-stop during that time. And for me as an individual, and Liam Banks, the other individual doing it, we've been told to expect to feel like you're doing 2 marathons, 2 running marathons back to back.
That sounds crazy.
It does, and I now question why I'm doing it as I'm sitting here talking to you.
Oh my goodness.
I expect to burn about 6,000 to 7,000 calories through that 8 hours whilst it's
8 hours. 8 hours of consistent rowing. 8
hours non-stop. We'll stand up for maybe a minute every hour just to stretch the muscles off. Sitting down for that long can be quite painful. But beyond that, it's just continuous rowing. Get it done, get through the pain, and enjoy hopefully a nice beer at the end of it.
Oh my goodness. Well, you did mention that you have been, thinking about ways to stay fit. But how exactly do you prepare for a competition like this? This just seems to be very strenuous. I know it's for a great cause, but in the background, what are you doing to prepare for this?
Well, I've tried to be very good around not drinking beer, eating a bit more healthily, going to the CrossFit gym itself, and so doing strength work around, spending many, many hours sat on the rowing machine, which I have at home. I think they're flicking up as a picture now. So I've done, in the year to date, I've rowed about 1 million meters.
Wow.
So 10 times the distance I'll do on the day next Saturday, and that will hopefully be enough to get me through. So.
Excellent. Now, you did mention as well that Castaway is also partnering with you on this initiative. Let's speak to that a little bit more.
And of course, and Tom and Kaz, who run CrossFit Castaway, which is the gym next to OneMart, have been fantastic in stepping up to help me get this organised, use their facilities to have 12 rowing machines going at once, put on refreshments, etc. And we're even actually going to be trying to stream the European Football Championships whilst we row to keep the rowers motivated. But it's a great organisation, And it's a different kind of gym. So it's not the sort of gym where you'll just go and work out and do your weights when you want to. It's very much class-led, but based on weights and continuous exercise. And they do a fantastic job helping people stay fit or even get fit for the first time.
You mentioned earlier the prime sponsors, 4 of them, but how exactly will the funds be raised? And I do know that there's also a GoFundMe page as well.
Sure. So we've got the 4 main sponsors. Then there's a host of other silver sponsors, and it's a long list, which I apologise to them, I won't go through now. And then we're using a GoFundMe page to allow people to donate outside of that. So if you go to the GoFundMe website, and just type into the search engine FSN 100 kilometres, it will come up and it's very obvious that it's there. That allows donations to be raised both in and outside of the BVI, and we'll obviously make sure they're channeled to the Family Support Network after the event. People can always email me as well if they want to find out more or make a donation. I'm Russell Crumpler at kpmg.vg.
All right. Now, in closing, I want to speak to what I called corporate social responsibility, which we love to highlight here at 284 Media. This is a personal initiative in collaboration with Castaway, but I do know as well, so many companies have come on board to really lend help and support to this particular program. So let's speak about the importance of that, extending yourselves as corporate BVI. Why was that in particular so important to, I know you can speak on behalf of KPMG and other sponsors, but in addition to that, what advice do you have for wider corporate BVI as it relates to giving back through social responsibility?
I think giving back it's not why we exist, but it's an absolute fundamental part of why we're here and what we have to do. Most of us as corporates have been lucky enough to get through Irma, to get through COVID, and be able to support our staff and continue doing what we're doing. But we have a duty when we're here, particularly in a beautiful place like the BVI that we all call home, to really give back to that community. And it's not just about giving money. Sometimes we're lucky enough to be able to give money, but it's about giving time and giving us skill sets. So it's fundamental to my, if you like, corporate belief system and that of KPMG's. And I know through knowing the individuals that all of our sponsors feel exactly the same way.
All right. Excellent, Russell. I think I've been mispronouncing your last name. Can you pronounce that last name for me, please?
It's Crumpler.
Crumpler.
It's an unusual
one. I've been saying Campbell. I apologize.
That's quite all right.
I just think quite commendable your efforts towards this initiative, and of course, all of your sponsors and everyone who's going to be a part of this initiative coming up on July 3rd. It is for a great cause. FSN, the Family Support Network, is in consistent dire need as they continue to reach the vulnerable in the BVI community. So once again, thank you so much. And of course, we look forward to the updates coming out of July 3rd.
Thank you.
Viewers, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, Mrs. Andria Flax, she just launched her new book, which is focusing on, get this, over 100 centenarians from right here in the Virgin Islands. So stick with us. We have all the details right after this commercial break.
Father Jesus, that line you long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top up power?
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. As we begin to close out, the one and only Mrs. Andria Flax has just been added to the local plethora of authors here in the BVI with the launch of her new book, A Walk Through the Valley, a tribute to the golden seniors in the territory of the Virgin Islands. Now, this book salutes and celebrates our senior citizens who would have made it to age 90 years or older, over 107 seniors documented. And so today we had the opportunity to sit down with Mrs. Flax herself. So listen in as she dives into the inspiration behind the book. Inspiration. I know, again, when I look at this book, viewers, if you can see, this is no easy undertaking. Clearly, lots of time, passion, and talent that went into this. So what was the inspiration behind this book? Like, why did you see it necessary, in your opinion, of course, to document this particular book?
Well, the seniors within our islands, they've always fascinated me. And when I kept hearing about so many centenarians and so many persons living over the age of 80, of 90 actually, and I thought about all the stories they had to tell. I thought about their simple but significant lives. And I thought about our culture, our heritage, and trying to preserve things that are special to us so that generations to come will know about what went on long before we were born. Right. And that they would have those memories to carry, for generations to come. So that was my thought behind the whole idea of writing the book.
And how long did it take you to put this together? This seems like quite a big task.
It's just only 10 years.
10 years?
10 years.
Wow. Wow. So I think when you look through the book, it seems to capture a lot of stories, not just about the character and the personality of these persons, but also what they contributed to society. Let's get into some of the most interesting characters that you want to highlight today.
Thinking about it, it's not only persons who live here in the Virgin Islands, but I've included everyone, persons who came to live with us, persons who were born here and migrated, and their families. And there are so many stories that I can't just focus on one. There are anecdotes that make you smile. Yes. There's stories that make you cry. It's a wide range.
Quite commendable. Now, Mrs. Flax is now scheduled to do an official launch and book signing event in Virgin Gorda. And I know she's especially excited about this because over 40 persons from Virgin Gorda were included in the book. Among them are centenarians Viva George, Ida Flax, of course, to whom the book is dedicated, and Martha Gilbert. So many other persons included within this book. Now, cultural officer out of the Department of Culture, Anika Christopher, spoke to us about the upcoming event. Listen in.
So like I said, apart from the book launch ceremonies, which is one of the programs that we offer, the book signing event is another great promotional tool. So it gives the authors the opportunity to share more about their book, more information about their book, as well as themselves. And it gives the readers themselves the opportunity to personally meet the author and ask questions about the book and just really have a conversation with them. And like you said, there are over 40 persons within the book that are of Virgin Gorda residents. So it really gives persons on island the opportunity to find out more about centenarians who they may not have known about before. And finally, too, it gives them the opportunity to not have to travel to Tortola to actually get themselves a copy of the book.
Excellent. And this Virgin Gorda launch, when is this going to be?
It's going to be next Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the HLSCC campus on Virgin Gorda.
Ms. Wilson?
Go ahead.
If I may add, the book is dedicated to my mother-in-law.
Wow.
She was a centenarian. I should say to her blessed memory. She lived in Virgin Gorda for most of her life. And not only that, but Virgin Gorda is dear to my heart. I courted a gentleman from there for 5 years, and I have been married to him for 40 wonderful years and counting. So Virgin Gorda is home to me, and I'm so happy to be going there.
Viewers, if you want to watch the remaining of that interview, it's available via our Facebook page, 284 Media on Facebook. But that is all the time we have for today, unfortunately. But you can check us out via our website, 284media.com. My name is Yvonne Wilson, and thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again on Monday, same time, same place, 6 p.m. Take care.